must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Launching the BBI Task Force report. Makofi.
Your Excellency, I am very happy that the document, the recommendations and the proposals that have been put forward informs us on how to build institutions to get our politics away from personalities and ethnicities to institutions that will carry all of us irrespective of who we are, where we come from, the language we speak, or the political party we subscribe to.
Kusema ya kwamba pesa mingi ije mashinani, tunaunga mkono. Ipelekwe mpaka ifike kama kuanzia 35% kuelekea juu. Hiyo pesa itumike kwa mambo ya maendeleo, not for consumption. Recurrent expenditure should not be above 30%. 70% should go for development.
Ni kwa nini baada ya kila miaka mitano tunaenda miaka mitatu ya kazi, miaka ya 2 tunapoteza kwa sababu siasa imechacha? Tunataka tuulize wafanyabiashara wetu wenzetu, ni nini inawazuia? Ni nini tuwaweza kufanya ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba biashara zenu hazisimami? We must have development plans that are 20 years plus if we are to resolve our problems, my brothers and sisters. Tunataka tuwapatie assurance ya kwamba wanaweza kupatia wananchi mikopo ya miaka 10, miaka 15, kwa sababu they have confidence ya kwamba Kenya will be stable and Kenya will always have leadership, whoever it is.
With regard to corruption, we will continue to fight. Regardless of what will be said and done, we will fight, and we will fight, and we intend to fight and win. And it is unfortunate that sometimes this is politicized also, but as I said, this is a fight that Kenya must win, because if we can't create not just a fair environment, but a stable environment, it must also then be transparent. So that once you do your business, you know what you need to do, how you're going to do about it. So your business succeeds not on the basis of who you know, but how you do your business. That should be really what all of us should be focused on. Your business should not succeed or fail based on which government is in power. Right? It should be on the basis of the plans and the programs that you have as business people and what your business plan is. And that should be the basis of rating success. And this will happen. This will happen. It will be difficult. It will be noisy. But it will happen. It will happen. It will happen because there's no going back. And this is an agenda I just want to be very, very, very clear about.
You indeed told me that a jobless Kenyan is a desperate Kenyan. You told me also that a hungry Kenyan is a negative Kenyan. You told me that a sick Kenyan is a weak Kenyan. And you also told us that a homeless Kenyan is a Kenyan without hope. You, the Kenyan people, spoke clearly. We want dignity. We want to put enough food on our tables. And we want a lower cost of living. We listened. Since, and on reflection, I have come up with 4 responses to these concerns, and I call them the big 4. Food security, affordable housing, manufacturing, and affordable health care for all.
That is the position on the big 4. Food security, health, universal health care, housing, affordable housing, manufacturing. Many of the people in the rural areas would like to know how food security is very important, to have food enough for eating and surplus for export, to have enough food to feed families. Many people would like to know what universal health care is. We need to start to talk to people, to tell them, to do documentaries. How is the fishing? What type of fishing can be done on a small 1 acre? We need to go out inside in the villages, get our teams that can come up with all documentaries, weekly, daily, so that fishing can be improved. Fishing can become one of the food. When people talk about food in Africa, Miriam, in Siaya, for example, people think of the maize, but fish is also a food item that must be stored, that must have facilities for.
The 4th element is food security and nutrition. Since independence, we as a people have sought to ensure that our citizens enjoy food security and proper nutrition. And while we have made good progress, the challenge, however, remains yet to be fully conquered. It is time to address once and for all the multiple and interlocking factors that leave too many Kenyans at risk of hunger. Our immediate actions start now. We will bring targeted taxation to bear to put arable land to use. We will continue to encourage and facilitate large-scale commercial agriculture to diversify our staples through irrigation and other technologies. We will protect our water towers. Small-scale farmers will receive better extension services and market access, and subsidies will be redesigned to improve food yields and production quality.
We have said 3 items: obstacles, success, and the challenges. One of the obstacles is when the agenda was set out, there was quite a lot of politics that was involved. So time has come for us to remove politics from it and assure the people, the ordinary people, the ordinary wananchi, citizen of Kenya, that if you have this, you can improve the food security. If you do this, you'll improve the healthcare system. If you do this, if you can plan for a cheaper housing in your local area, a cheaper industry, a cottage industry. For example, look at what we want people. How many youths can gather themselves into a group in Kayole? 10 youths. If you can be washing people's clothes, ironing them, their shirts, when they come from school, they pay you 300 shillings or 100 shillings, Bob, or 20. And if you are doing that as a small group, this is, you see, a small cottage industry begins there. Then you end up with a huge, dry cleaner in Kayole, made by youth. But most of the people in our African context, especially Kenya and Uganda and other places, people are focused on the government getting them the jobs. But there is a job. There is the youth fund where you can go and borrow 50,000 shillings and buy dryer, buy this, buy that. You iron people's clothes. There are so many people who are lazy who want, I'm not condemning them, but they go to work very early in the morning. They don't have time to wash this cloth. But you can say, bring your shirts here. You'll have them in the tomorrow morning. You put in a dryer, iron, another youth is ironing. You earn your living. You create employment for yourselves and for the people surrounding you.
So job creation.
I want you in this spirit to also turn to the person sitting or standing next to you Greet them and say how proud you are to be Kenyan, and tell them that you are their keeper. Because to be Kenyan, at its core, is about loving your neighbor.
From 1992 in Kenya, elections have always been divisive in the form of violence, in the form of malpractices, in the form of all types of gerrymandering that has led to chaos that we have seen that has engulfed this country since independence. The biggest obstacle of the Kenyan elections is a very simple way out. The obstacle is we have never changed the forest. We have changed monkeys in the forest. If you want to cure the Kenya elections, you get a cure, a permanent cure for the Kenya elections. Change the forest. The monkeys will not come to that new forest. Reforms and reforms have been done around the Kenyan elections. Rules, regulations, laws. Are these laws enforced anyway? The answer is no. Most of the people break it, go with it, create chaos after they have not been punished. So the basis of the BBI is to interrogate the chapter, the seriousness of why elections produce violence every 5 years. Why do people fight? Yes, someone would say they are linked with tribal cocoons that conduct themselves or take part in the elections. The answer could be clearer, nearer there. But the solution, therefore, to safeguard, even if it is tribal, South Africa has got the biggest tribe, the Zulu. But still there are safeguards in South Africa that have safeguarded an election. That the Zulus don't dominate the entire South Africa because the electoral systems are safeguarded by principles and institutions. The institution of elections in Kenya and in many African countries has always been the product and has always been an institution that produces violence. Everywhere on the continent, you see electoral commissioners confused in reading their election results. Some of them don't even know the results. Some of them don't know how many votes were garnered by both parties. To avoid this mess, Kenya needs to look completely and put emphasis on the electoral reforms that are needed so that in 2022 there is no violence in the elections that will be conducted. For this reason, therefore, I would urge the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Chebukati, to say bye-bye, because he has held several controversial elections that we have seen, including under his auspices, one election nullified in the history of Africa. Thank you very much, viewers.
To be here today to participate with my brothers and sisters in this very important forum when we are reflecting and thinking about our country. When we are thinking about our country, we are thinking about ourselves, our people at home, and the generations to come. Mine is to assure you that we are doing our best as far as investigations are concerned. But at the same time, we do have quite a number of challenges, though they have not reached a point of dispiriting us, or rather demotivating us. We are trying to say that I wish everybody in this war of corruption may come on board. One thing I can say is
even before we go for some investigations outside there, some of the frustrations which really pull us down is some of the strange orders that we receive. Other than even, starting the investigation, we are stopped even before we record a statement from somebody who you know very well are stolen from Kenyans. You know very well, and all Kenyans know, we are pursuing this person, and it's not something we're imagining. We all know, and we cannot lie to ourselves, surely, and everything can show, but we are stopped even before questioning that person. And when we receive some of those orders, like another one which I received just the other day, I was not even at the stage of even pursuing that person whatsoever. Then when the orders came, I read them very well. Do not use the door to go and arrest Mr. Hay. Then I said, okay, why is this preemptive? Then I said, fine, I consulted my regular advisors, they are here. And then I said, no, through my information, there is a window. If I cannot use the door to go and take Mr. Hay, then I'm going to use the window. And once I get through the window, I get a smoking gun, which is killing us. Just smoking, just immediately from murdering us Kenyans. When you steal from us, the hospital money, roads money, development fund for all this country, what do you think you are? You are not better than that terrorist you are battering there in the Dusit and other areas. Then, immediately, faithfully carrying our smoking gun, then what happened? We are told, don't even bring this smoking gun here. Don't even touch that person. We are bad. Please listen to me. I have it here. Why don't you give me 10 minutes even to demonstrate I'm not malicious? Surely this is what I have. Then if I am, prove me within these 10 minutes. Nobody is ready to listen to us. What I can say is, thank you for prayers and support from Kenyans. I know very well that issue of mafia in Italy. It was completely almost replica, the capture of the mafia. The way the war was won, and the people's cry, they were wiped and dry their tears. It was through the corrective working and bravery of their police, prosecution, and judiciary. When most of them, they are on BCD, and then the police said, no, enough is enough. Our people have cried enough. Let's go to fight for our people. In as much some of them were still with the mafia. It was massacre. They said it's okay, let's die, but for the world cause of our people. The prosecution came on board and said, no, equally we hear the cry of our people. Let's join the war. They joined the police, the prosecutors. Then the judiciary came and said, no, then we shall not be left. They came on board. The war was won for their people, ultimately. We can say, equally in Kenya, we can take the cry of our Kenyans and say, this greed, these millions we are stealing every day, start them in bank, there are papers, we shall read them in this world. Let us say, what is enough for us is what God has given us. And the moment we say collectively, we are going to fight this war together, I can for sure tell you, this country is beautiful, it has plenty for each and every one of us. And I can for sure we shall have peace of mind. And even during our last days when they do come, even that billionaire and all that, he will be smiling, knowing if there is heaven, me I'm a Christian, I believe there is one. At least then have a space after the one hereafter. So that one is to say, continue supporting us, praying for us. We shall do our level best, and we shall give all that we have for the sake of our motherland. Thank you.
Good afternoon in Nairobi. Good morning in London. Good morning elsewhere in Africa. in the parts of West Africa. Good morning in Khartoum. Good morning in Cairo. Good morning in West Africa, in Accra, Ghana. Good morning in Nigeria, Cameroon. Good morning in Burkina Faso, the land of Sankara. Good morning. Good morning in Cote d'Ivoire. Good morning in Gambia and elsewhere in Morocco. Good morning. Tunisia, Algeria, good morning. South Africa, good morning. Zimbabwe, good morning. Good morning, the rest of Southern Africa. Good morning. Good morning in Malawi. We still have a verdict, not yet has come. Good morning. With me in the studio is none other than Miriam Ogutu, my dear friend. Good morning. We have struggled to bring this to you. That we shall continue to struggle to talk about Africa. However difficult it is, we as Africans don't stop struggling. We shall continue to struggle until we bring about changes. We shall struggle to make sure that Africa learns the hard way, that we are the people with resources. The people coming to us don't have the resources. Good morning. We shall again struggle as much as possible to make sure that things that aid us don't destroy us. We remain united as Africans at all angles, stages. We have the difficulties, we have the problems, but we shall not keep off tackling them. As much as we troop into Europe, as much as we walk into Europe to seek salvation, salvation remains with us Africans ourselves. We must first instill the discipline of how we shall conduct our affairs as Africans. Many African heads of state have not looked at the values of the population. The growing population in Africa gives us challenges, produces challenges. Are we able to stand the test of time that is coming ahead? The global market seems to shrink, and it is shrinking on a daily basis. That even in those metros where we have gone to borrow money, these countries also have a lot of difficulties. But when we borrow the money, when we bring the investment, when President Uhuru Kenyatta brings the investment into Kenya, are we prepared to help him that it is not guzzled? It's not corruptly taken by sharks who are waiting on their desks to take the money. There are people who are waiting for president to get investment and take 10% tenders, 10% kickbacks. This is what we talk. That's why we talk about corruption. This is why the president wants a BBI that can remove this national disease, this moral disease, the moral disease that has moralized everybody. It has killed Africa. It is killing Kenya. It's killing Uganda. It's killing everywhere, Nigeria. We are going to borrow what we could have in Africa. We are going to borrow what Nigeria could lend to Africa. Surely, my dear brothers and sisters, if you look at the money that has been lost by 3 ministries of Kenya, you would get a shocker. And I want to take this opportunity today to read these ministries so that people don't think that we are just talking out of no records. For example, the Ministry of Agriculture, it has lost the following: maize NCPB scam, 11.3 billion. That is gone. The Ministry of Agriculture, again, fertilizer. When you look at fertilizers in the Ministry of Agriculture, the tender was 485 million, gone. Illegal payments that were not sanctioned by the Treasury, but the funds were released, 1.8 billion by the minister. Itare Dam scandal, 29 billion shillings lost under the ministry of Mr. Kiyunjuri, who's also planning to become a leader in the future. I don't know whom he will lead, but this is it. Come to another ministry. The ministry, another ministry of Treasury, Henry Rotich. The maize scandal imports 10 billion. Kimidero Dam and Erol Dam, 19 billion. It's gone. There is another ministry, the Ministry of Energy. The amount of scandals in this ministry: KPC scandal, 4.4 billion. KPC oil spillage, 2.5 billion. KPC oil jetty, 1.8 billion. KPC inflation contracts, 95 billion. Ketraco, 6.3 billion. Your farmer development contract scandal, the Lake Turkana billion, 5 billion. Hello Africans, hello Kenyans, wherever you are in Kenya listening to this show. I look at the total comes to 194 billion shillings. President Uhuru Kenyatta has gone to Britain and he has managed to get 171 billion. Your Excellency, to keep a legacy, we must crack. You must crack on these people. You must make sure that these people don't take this money again. The British companies are coming to invest, but guess what? Someone is waiting to take it. I gave an example of a very serious operation that I want us to think. These are examples of the ministry that has gone wrong. As we speak now, that is the conference in London. That's the conference where the president is trying to get the money. His Excellency is trying to bring the money. He's talking his lungs out to bring the money. But some thief is waiting in Nairobi to steal it through dubious ways of telling very many Kenyans. You know, when you look at Moses Kuria last night, he told us he was going to name the names. We picked these pictures live from London. Here we are, The president went to get a bond for students to be able to pay their school fees, to be able to pay their dormitory fees. We are signing all this money. But when you look, there's a cartoon that has just come where Korea talks and the money comes from here. It's not a lie. Yesterday's talk by Mr. Korea was to make more money from his client. He has a client whom he talks and says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to name the suspect. I'm going to name the witness. I am the one who bought witnesses. Give me the money. But in actual sense, credibility of such a person is doubted. In actual sense, if you're a leader and you intend to be a leader tomorrow, why don't you look at the credibility of the information that is delivered? Therefore, the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta remains a legacy that will unite Kenyans. A legacy that will try to fight corruption. A legacy that has tried to bring some sense. A legacy that is giving people quite a lot of sleepless nights, because Kenyatta has changed to be a different person. We want to take this opportunity to tell you very much that read our legacy trend. The legacy trend has the explanation of the political BBI process. What is it that is in the BBI process that we see which is going to leave some people swallowed or fall on the way? If you look at the two meetings of the BBI for validation, to validate, Uhuru Kenyatta said the next committee is to validate. You must make sure that are these the things we want or not. That's clear cut. So the meetings, whether political or what, is to validate and see what is good and bad. Don't blame these meetings that are taking place. And they will be big. The one in Mombasa could be a big tsunami, because it will be attended by almost everybody. If you miss that one, then you are not there. So the political process is very important. As much as the healing process, there must be a political will to unite Kenyans. Over to you, Miriam.
Yes, indeed, and a very good afternoon to you if you're watching us from anywhere in East Africa, because it's half an hour past noon here in Nairobi, and morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching us from across the rest of the world. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And indeed, Dr. Matanga, even as we look forward to, of course, you've seen the turnout even that has been for the past two meetings for the BBI report, and trying to make sure that the drum support for it. And of course, the one that we're looking forward to is the one that will be happening in Mombasa. But after what happened last weekend in Kakamega, what Kenyans really want now is to make sure that when everybody that is going to speak in this BBI, and if that is really the agenda that they're supposed to be standing there and talking about, then they should stay away from politics, because when they politics so much, they take away from the BBI. So the Mwananchi who came there and wanted to learn more about BBI, wanted to understand what this document is about, what will this mean for their lives, will this change anything in terms of, the Kenyans really want to understand, because so far, not so many Kenyans have been able to get the copies or things like that. And I think that is something that the government should work to make sure that Kenyans have these copies, hard copies, not online, the Kenyans really want to read these things. They don't even know how to access online. So maybe they can make copies to make sure Kenyans really understand, because they genuinely want to know what is this BBI and what it entails. So our leaders, when they go there in Mombasa, the next meeting, we are just hoping, and Kenyans are hoping, that they will stay clear out of, especially party politics. We don't want it to look like it's an ODM rally, no, or a NASA thing, or no. Let it just be BBI, and that way perhaps more Kenyans would really be interested in hearing what they have to say.
Maybe I'm fine. It is up to the Kenyans validate the governors, the MCs. They are sitting in meetings. Today there is a very big meeting in the coastal town of Mombasa. Governors and all stakeholders, including from MCs, from all the angles, they are right now meeting to discuss what can be presented as a format of validation, to validate what BBI 1 did. I hope that's correct English. Am I speaking? That word also goes off. The validation, to validate. Is it that what you want? Yes, then after that validation, after the cross country, now you bring all the things that people added on. If you look at the Kagamega meeting, they added something that was not in the BBI. They wanted devolution to be crucial, the center point of development. Removing almost, which I have been saying, if you want to develop, you must evolve. But if you don't want to develop, don't try it. You can't try one thing, it can't work. Take away the ministries that should go to wananchi, which are the ministries that touch everybody, and which are the ministries that don't touch. I don't know whether Kenyans know anything about the foreign policy. They see a war between them and Somalia. They see a war between them and any other country. But not very many are interested in foreign policy. Fine, you leave it in the central government. Defense, you must manage. The commander-in-chief must manage the army. Yes, you leave it there. Health services, you have to choose whether they go there or they remain here. Because health could trigger emotion of a state of emergency. Emotion of state of emergency in Kenya can come as a health breaks down. The central government must declare a state of emergency if everybody is dying. That ministry should not have gone there. Should have remained.
The same way education is.
Yes, where education is, because that ministry is very important.
It is.
It hinges on the constitution of republic. Anybody who has studied constitutionalism could agree with me today that if there is cholera, for example, Ebola, for example, AIDS, for example, cancer, for example, is a national disaster. And therefore the president can invoke the emergency powers. But when it is taken into the governorship of hospitals, each governor treating the hospital the way he wants or the way she wants, it brings a problem. Kagamega BBI brought out that. You could see the meeting. They said some ministries, if you look at their proposals, some ministries must be kept off. There is something that you can't manage. For example, agriculture is one ministry that should actually completely devolve to the governors, because the governors know who is a farmer and who is an import of maize from Uganda. The local MCAs will know that Mr. So and so imports maize from Uganda, but he doesn't have a farm in Kitale. They will know. And then those local farmers, local MCS will tell the government, will tell their governors that so and so is bringing maize. Our NCPB is full of maize coming from Uganda or Mexico and we might not be able to sell our maize. That's a ministry which should be separated from the central government. It has to be among the people. You see?
So also, yeah, I think, yeah, especially when you mentioned the health ministry, we've seen after devolution, after the coming in of the new constitution where the health services were devolved, we've seen the number of strikes and protests we've been having in that ministry, the chaos that has engulfed that ministry. And I have been in the opinion that perhaps it was devolved too soon.
Which one?
The health ministry.
Yes.
There's supposed to be structures.
That you have a point, Miriam.
There are supposed to be structures, perhaps put in place.
The structure
fully given to the counties.
Yes. The structures, for example, the doctors. You can't develop health when you have no pay slips. Some of these governors don't have pay slips.
For their doctors.
Some of the doctors in some counties have no pay slip. That's why you find, if it was the central government taking cancer machines in areas, these cancer machines would be working. What's the use of renting a cancer machine to the central, to the governor who is not going to pay? But the central government will, put these cancer machines within the hospital, pay for them, take technicians there, pay for them from the government, collect whatever money the hospital could charge, it comes to the central government. But now look at the machines lying there. The money that you have sent through here has to come through here. There is something which is not, linking, which we are talking about, and we are saying it can change. When you look at another plank of BBI, the healing process, the rattling that you see, the Moses Kurias you see, the Kimani Gunjiri you see, the Ichungwas you see. That's why I said, at the end of the day, it will return to the placenta.
And what is the placenta, for those who might not understand that analogy?
The political placenta. I'm not talking about the human placenta.
The analogy.
The analogy of the political placenta in Kenya lies in Mount Kenya. You can go to the moon, come back. You can whisper to God, come back. You can whisper to hell, come back. The placenta or politics of this nation lies within the mountain. Does it bother you to know? You better know today that why is it that Ruto has gone over 200 times to disrupt the placenta? Why? Why? A skillful politician like he is, unfortunately he used the conmen like Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria can never be a serious guy. Never. From the time I knew him in 2003, when I found him in Intercon looking for food on lunchtime, I have never seen him as a serious man. I'm an elite and I don't speak lies. The moment you use such people to go into the placenta of the politics of Kenya, you are dead politician. Hello? Am I preaching somebody? Get a pen. You see, some people have never studied political science. And if you are not, you need to get real men who can give you the real material. Don't get these guys rent-seeking operators. Anataka kuzungumiza alafu atoe pesa kwako. And don't use this. I am not against the deputy president to stand whatever he wants to do. This is his nation. I am an analyst. I can sit on CNN. I can sit on Sky News. In 2 months, I will be the most powerful on Sky News. My letter arrived yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
Hallelujah. So I will be speaking on Africa. What will you do? I will bring emotion on Africa. But I am now telling you that I have credentials that can speak. I don't want to lie. If you go to harass the placenta every time, utapata injury. Tena utarudi ubaya sana, utalia. Utawachwa. Jamen. If you use conmen who are looking for money, who hide, switch off the phone, then the police, any phone you switch off. I believe Washali had a phone of this nature, iPhone. He's not very cheap like us, who are commoners without money. They have free money. This iPhone, even if you remove the card, the police can track where the iPhone is.
Any Android phone? Yes.
Yes. So don't tell lies to Ruto that I hid in a garden. What is it? Tell the truth and straighten the country.
Because the police looked for the GPS of the phone.
Yeah, exactly. It is not the iPhone. It is not the switch card. Look at the lies. Look at the lies, these guys. These guys need to be told the truth. And apparently the Kenyans don't want to tell the truth. When you got the truth, they label you a Ugandan. Wacha niwaambie niende. Look at this. Man, don't think everybody will stay here. We are just telling you, we are telling you, you are spoiling your country. You are spoiling your country. You can't go on cheating. You are collecting money. Maybe this money is free money. Collect it. Otherwise, if it was my money, I would first of all ask, when did you notice that the police were looking for you? Then you come in the morning, you say, police, if they wanted Mr. Washali, they would have picked him. Whether he has removed the card, cheap tricks of eating and conning big people. Had that in the card, and then I removed the card, switched off the phone, ran. What time do you have to switch off the phone? When the police are looking for you, Washali, don't tell lies, Baba. Don't. We lawyers don't tell lies. We tell it as it is. Huh? Moses Kuria comes with a story, keeps the whole country waiting, that he's going to tell us how on earth. You know what? One day I was at the ICC. I and Mugatana, and I want the deputy president is watching. He's watching. He came out of the ICC to greet us. We had gathered outside. I, Moses Kuria, and Mugatana. The deputy president greeted me like this. Bring your hand. Like this. Kumbe, I did not know why. I did not know why. Kumbe, he knew among us the three, there was somebody who had betrayed him. Moses Kuria was there. Mugatana was there at the entrance of the back door of the International Criminal Court. I asked these people, this has never happened to me. Is there something wrong? We came back, we went to Moving Peak Hotel. I said, if this is the treatment I've received from a man I came to defend, from the man I defend for free, from a man who doesn't give me a ticket to defend, I'm gone. Moses Kuria said, I'm going also. Mugatana said, let's go back. In the plane, Moses said he swears he will never come back to ICC. The following week, Moses Kuria, after 2 weeks, when the deputy came back, he crossed to the office. And this is a man who told us nothing. You know, my bitterness is this. This is a Ugandan who was doing this thing for free. And the man you are moving with, Miriam, is the one, you know, he could have killed me. He could have poisoned me because I used to eat food when he's here. And I'm now defending the man whom he had fixed. So I was fighting ICC, Fatube Sudan, and Campo, when the ICC was near me, called Moses Kuria. And another one, I don't want to mention him now. Now that I have my letter, I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna damage some of these guys. There's another one on this other side. They are very dangerous people. They wanted to finish these guys. Now today, they have surrounded these guys. They are bringing confusion in the state. They are busy going to microphones. You get the point? Every rally, they are there. Ichungwa is telling you, George Soros. You say you have never got money from George Soros to do activities in your constituents. Say it. Say it. And then I bring the evidence. Tutawatoboa. And then we go. Because enough is enough. These guys are making terrible mistakes in this country. They are lying. They have caused the division within. If you look at the people who are very close to the DP, they are the same people who wrote the statements to victimize the DP. Murukomen, Sang, Kuria. Look at them. Harware. Who brought the motion that brought the DP chaos? Nani? Masanga? Did I? Wacha tuzungumize. Nani? Mimi? Did I bring a motion? These are the people looking for money. They call a doctor what? You don't have even a clinic in Kakamega. You call people doctor. You steal people from those eyes. No. At least I have a house that I have not mortgaged. And if I mortgage it, I can come back to build 10. Today, I'm saying it. I've had enough. And anybody standing on my way now, that's it. We finish it, I go home. You know why? These are people you tell, 20079, nobody wanted to know these people. Nobody wanted to help these people. Nobody wanted to know Uhuru Kenyatta. Nobody wanted to know Ruto. They are knowing them today. And they take lies for us who suffered. If I don't speak the truth, we who suffered, who is going to speak for them? Who is going to speak for those young men who were on Facebook with me fighting Ocampo? Who? Renowned gynecologists who cannot even treat anyone. Where he is guzzling money from here, guzzling his Jubilee, his what, his Ford Kenya, his ODM, his NASA, his principles. Stand firm. And Abraham, the more you follow that line, the more I will squeeze you off. I have no regrets. And today I am in a different mood. Miriam, give me time. I'm gonna give you time. I have had enough of this. For people, if we don't speak, our problem is we have embraced Raila Amolo Odinga. That's it. My problem is that, Miriam, I'm being crucified on this social media because I've embraced Raila Amolo Odinga. Who am I to hate him when the whole world is saying he did a good thing? Give a credit where it is due. Give a credit where it is due. The man took a step forward, shook the hand of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Peace came back. Our trailers can pass peacefully without being blocked. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? So I should not embrace him? It's too much. It's gone beyond. Because if we keep quiet, who else is going to tell these people that they have forgotten the route they left? Who? Tell me, who is going to keep quiet? Who is going to tell these guys?
All right, and you mentioned there that the Mount Kenya region is the placenta of the Kenyan politics. Well, if that argument should hold, then a DP, Dr. William Ruto must have known that long time ago, and he made a very good strategy there. So is it a bit too late that the rest are waking up when, Mr. Ruto made strides in Mount Kenya and made sure, he garnered, he was very strategic in the manner in which he was visiting Mount Kenya. You mentioned he visited over 200 times.
I've told you, and I've been saying it, the visit was very clear. The visit was towards the placenta. Why was the visit why was it not in Ukambani, but it was in the placenta? That's the topic for today. And why is that visit? He said, I asked, why is it that he was visiting there? Because it is the center of this whole problem. That whoever wants to pass anything will finally end up there. You want to win an election in Kenya? Kiambu gives you 2 million voters. You're already ahead. One county gives you by next year, 2022, there will be 2.4. Out of that, you will have 2.2 million votes. Kaka, if all of them wake up to vote, you are done. You are gone. Hello, hallelujah.
And that has been in the past, Doctor, as we see right now with a lot of, I don't know if it will come into play. I don't know if they'll vote as a bloc, as they've always voted, Central Kenya, Nyanza, Luo Nyanza, and especially Central Kenya and Luo Nyanza are known to be voting in a certain way, like they vote majority as a bloc. But with the politics and the dynamics of the politics in Kenya today, is that really guaranteed in Central Kenya?
Yes, they are. Forget about the Facebook idlers. We are just hearing the idling system on Facebook. The real voters at home, I'm telling you, it is like telling a snake, any snake that comes out of the hole in Nyanza, in Siaya, that I am going to bite the house of Raila in Bondo. No, that snake comes and said, I'm coming to bite the Raila house. Do you know how many people will go for the snake? Let's talk the truth about the politics. It is impossible to win a vote in Siaya, in these counties, the counties where Raila is. And truly speaking, Raila has a following that you see that crosses, even enters my Luya land. Believe me or not, there will be MP in Luya land who will stand and win on.
They are there right now.
Yes.
Despite of Ford Kenya and
yes, parties. Very strong. So it is difficult for you to destroy the placenta of that politics in the Luo land, in the Nyanza province. Difficult. Just as I've told you, it is difficult to destroy the placenta of Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya, and of course,
it comes back. And therefore, the question for BBI is this. What is this that can make a credible elections? Is the mechanism. Miriam, are we together there? I brought you where we wanted to land.
I still wanted to stay at Mount Kenya. Just one more question.
Stability of this election. The stable, I've already told you the number. The numbers matter. One county delivers you 2 million voters. You need now only to add ndogo, data hii, add on. Or the entire Mount Kenya gives you the whole thing. Then now, why it is the placenta of politics, the central point where the placenta first came and landed. It is like the Ashanti kingdom in Ghana. You can't win an election in Ghana without the Ashanti. Even if you go to the Indian Ocean and bring the slaves back, Atlantic Ocean, and bring all those slaves back. Yeah, have you seen the extreme? Carry the slaves, return them to Africa. It's impossible. That's why instead of God doing so, God has sent Hurricane Katerina, Hurricane Florence, Hurricane Bobobo, Hurricane Jennifer. Have you seen Hurricane Jennifer running? These are our ghosts that Kuria was talking about that haunt him in America. Let's bring in that sense of humor. It is serious that Kuria says when he went to America to see George Soros, during his holiday, he saw George Soros and his mind changed. Let's call out for Kuria. Moses, the mind changed when you saw George Soros. That there is a ghost. Dr. Evelyn Akombe. Did you meet Kuria? I rest my case. What? That Dr. Evelyn Akombe. Did you meet Kuria?
The former IEBC.
That, what is this? Because we are doing analysis of the politics of the legacy, it touches the current situation. What is this? That is making Kuria so annoyed now. That I am fed up, the ghost is following me. Hurricane Katatina, Katikwak, Florence, he's come in a place when he was sleeping. And yesterday we watched, we waited. He never dropped any name. So what is this? We bring another show. Unfortunately, we have to bring a show. Is there a regime change planted? Why is it that it was only Moses Kuria who stood up to tell Miguna, call a press conference instead of advising Miguna the way I have done?
Oh, he's the one who told Miguna to call a press conference?
No, he called a press conference, you remember? Moses called a press conference denouncing the government why it is not bringing Miguna. You have forgotten last week. You're a journalist.
But when Miguna was being taken out of the...
He was the one again.
He was the one supporting. That's why I don't...
No. He's the one who sat in the chair. Why is it that he is always in these places? Whom does he work for?
Interesting.
Is it clicking now?
I'm confused. But
the departure of Miguna from here, Moses found himself on the same plane.
Yeah.
So, who sent him?
And he was supporting the deportation of Miguna at that point. So
then he now comes, the return of Miguna. Moses again holds a press conference after America. After America. You remember before he hit this woman with slaps, with blows after eating chips in America. He came with heavy blows, beating Iwanja, because Iwanja was asking him, there's something wrong with you. Stick to if you have come out, let people challenge you. So when you look at the gymnastics, Miguna has already filed his
papers.
Yes.
He filed his papers.
He's telling a lie. Now he's party after party. Party after party. Can you bring that photograph of Miguna? Party after party. Production team. Later.
Where he was sharing a meal with some Kenyans.
Not sharing. He's doing party after party. You know, this guy is very clever. He's already got, he has been told when the passport is going to arrive. Then he says, in fact, and after it has arrived, he's not coming here. Already we know where he's going. He's going not here. He tried to do something in London. One telephone call stopped everything in London. Have you seen the demonstration in London of Uganda? It's very small because the giant of demonstration is not there. The owner of demonstrations, in Uganda is not there, is me. Ask Museveni how many people I could bring on the streets of London in 1987 when Museveni comes in London. Whenever he came in London, I could bring, police could tell me, you told us 200 people. Next time we shall not give you a license. I said no. Unfortunately, they had my announcement and they arrived 4,000. Police had to call more horses to control. So look at the demonstration outside.
So what are the demonstrations about in London?
Miguna had wanted people to demonstrate against President Uhuru Kenyatta. There was none. There are no pictures you can say. This is party after party in Berlin. The guy is hammering his things.
He's having a good time.
Yeah, with who?
After the stress and all that, it's not
That's
bad
okay.
to just sit and relax.
That's okay. Because at least he has listened to friends. Friends who don't associate yourself with a man who is going to, or a woman who is going to tell you that poison your husband or kill your wife. Would you walk with such a man? Would you? Would I walk with a man of that nature who would tell me that my wife is very bad, kill her? Miguna needed people like us. We have substance who can tell him, take this thing, you can make your projo, lakini chukua hiyo karatasi filu. Wakupatia hiyo kitambulisho ambayo uanze kutembea, ukuwe na uhuru, ukuwe na amani kwa roho yako, ukuwe na watoto yako. Hata kama unakuwa namna hivyo, watoto yako watakubali baba yako. Jameni, nyenye wa Kenya mnafikiri Kiswahili yangu imeipotea? Bado. Kiswahili yangu ya Tanzania ya Msasani.
Still there.
Yes, makati nilikuwa Msasani Tanzania 78. Mimi mmoja wale alienda shule makati ya Nyerere. Kwa hivyo kama unataka Kiswahili, unataka fiore ya Nyerere zote ziko kwa kichwa yangu. Nimeshabeba kwa kichwa yangu hapa. Sitaki matatizo mimi. Sitaki vurugo kwa Afrika. Nataka Afrika iendelee kukua. Afrika nchi ya amani. Tunataka amani, tunapenda amani sisi. Kama tunaenda tupate mavurugano kila siku, Afrika itaenda wapi?
John Clark, thank you for joining. You're wondering why the bottles are empty. Well, they already, I think, drained the content from those bottles and glasses. And
I think the photograph was taken when they're about to leave, or the money is very little.
But I saw the ones that they were enjoying a meal and all, and they were having a good time. I don't know
but
what else was happening.
Why are you sticking to the one of the meal? Let's have that one of the meal.
No, this was among the...
There was a meal with some
yes,
MP.
But the table was still very full.
Yes, an MP from Germany.
Yes.
You see, you have to lie. Man. You see, there is a problem here in Africa. You have to lie this Bazungu. You have to lie them that there is a dire situation in Kenya. Then the Muzungu MP does not ask, but if the dire situation in Kenya, why are you struggling to go there? Why are you struggling to return to Kenya if there is a dire situation? Why?
Home is home, east or west.
But then they don't say it is dire.
If it's
me, if you were me, I would say, niko na matatizo na nyumbani, yes. Sitaki kurudi. Well, lakini, hawa wanakataza mimi, wacha niende pande gine. Naambia wazungu ya ukweli. Ndio mzungu anakuangalia anasema this guy is correct. Sababu kama uko na matatizo na rais yako mwenyewe anaandika barua anasema huyo ndio namtaka kumuua. Anafikiri hiyo is like Africa. Ndio hao wanachunguza barua wanasema unataka kufanya nini? Kumbe mtu ako hapa. Kumbe mtu mwenye tunaweka hapa Miriam sio jamaa huyu anataka kumkata. Unaona? So you get automatically serious protection.
Yes.
Because some people in Africa believe in destroying others. I don't destroy, I give advice. On this one, if I were as we finish the topic and turn to your topic, because you have still, yes, you have a full hour, madam, that I will enjoy. When you look at the entire charade of the placenta politics and the BBI political process, then versus the healing process. And if you look at the key players of the political process now, that Moses Kuria reaches a point, who is an ardent supporter of Ruto, says on Friday, I will be in Mombasa. Did you hear that? He said, I am going to be addressed. I am also going to Mombasa. Then you can tell, if I were the one funding you, I would cut off that funding. If he can do that, how many other things does he deliver against you? Be careful. The person who killed Jesus did not come from very far. You eat with the enemy who wants to kill you. The people that you serve most destroy you. The outsider will not. And the worst part of such people is they will never even have their own shoes. When Jesus left, Judas became, have you ever had a book of Judas?
Before Judas hanged himself after.
No, don't go to that. I know you are the good follower of that Sunday service.
I'm not a follower, I'm a believer.
A believer. Yes. Did you hear the journey of Judas? Any book written?
No, he hanged himself.
That's what traitors do. They leave no history. Traitors leave no history. The betrayal of the current situation of betraying Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for the expense of eating or to be loved, to be given rent, seeking operations, and yet he is your MP. You end up hanging yourself. Believe me or not, you hang yourself. Or you go away. The way I see things happening now, Kuria could end up in the hands of George Soros, joining Akombe Rosalyn Akombe. Sweet, sweet dreams, sweet, sweet dreams. Sweet, sweet dreams, sweet, sweet dreams. You know, when you have facts, never be worried, my daughter. When you have what they call ink, that the flight AK2 dislived here, and you met so and so here, you discuss a wide range of how to come back. This the theory is not a conspiracy, it's real. Go back and destabilize Uhuru Kenyatta's government. The BBI should not take off. Break it into several parts. After all, a court failed. Now let me try you. Since you come from Uhuru Kenyatta's constituency itself, go and break him.
Yeah.
Any Kenyan who wants peace, listen to these words. I bet if I'm wrong, Miriam, you are going to see. You wait, soon these things are coming true. There's something that changed Moses Korea. Yesterday, he says he's going to Mombasa. At the same time condemning Raila Odinga, and the same time condemning Uhuru Kenyatta, and the same time condemning Haji to allow he's going to Mombasa. He put the whole nation, all journalists, I am dropping the names. But do you know, behind all this, there is cash coming in dollars.
There is cash coming in, and there's a family who is still suffering. They lost a father, a son. So people should be careful when this.
When you bring emotions, please. Yeah. That's all what has annoyed me.
They're still mourning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miriam, I'm upset of this guy, the family, the wife, the children. Their lives have been cut off, cut short. And here is a man coming to sing the name, bringing the attention of newspapers. The mystery is still there. It is like what I predicted about Somalia. I hope you are going to bring it. I don't know whether it is in your... Did I tell you about Somalia and the oil?
Somalia, they've been being bombed.
Turkey.
They're being bombed all the time.
Yes, and the Turkey.
Yes.
What has Turkey done? It has come in to take the blocks, which we are still bargaining for. And I predicted here.
The same blocks.
People did not listen to me.
You actually talked about it, yes.
Thank you.
I remember.
Thank you. Those who underrate me, watch. These things are going to happen. And one day, I might not be there. I might not be there. I will look quiet, keep quiet. These things are happening. You will see. These blocks that we are even fighting in ICJ are already been sold by the Prime Minister of Somalia. We are done. Bring it in African news. Thank you very much. The placenta remains the center and the pinnacle of the politics of Kenya.
The Mount Kenya.
Wherever you go, don't rely on this Facebook. One lawyer by name Ahmed Nasir, a well-renowned friend of mine. If you have a lawyer of that nature who reaches a point of doing opinion poll for you when you hired him to do your legal work, I would sack you. He has done an opinion poll on Facebook, and he has paid Twitter to. You know that my account is the only account on Facebook that is not enhanced. I don't pay. The rest of these guys pay to keep to get more likes. Alai, Itumbi, Ahmed Nasir, Kuria himself, they pay. So for me, who gets 1,000K, I'm very happy, man. Because my account, people read the real thing, material. I'm not paying non-idlers. No, what are they called? Idlers. To idle on my account. The people who come to my account of Facebook or Twitter, they read the real material, which is from my brain, not enhanced. Or that you come and read, then I am popular, and then the boss will see me and give me in charge of communication and diaspora. When you don't even know the streets in London, how can you become a head of the diaspora desk in communication like a Tumbi when you don't know the street in London?
He's the head of diaspora communications.
You didn't know?
I thought he was just a communication strategist in the office.
And the head of the diaspora desk. What?
Is that why he's been involved so much with with what is happening in diaspora in Germany?
This world is not my home. I am just passing through.
I did not know that.
You did not know?
Diaspora.
Yes. Stick to me, near me. We shall be telling these people the truth, Miriam. However painful it is, my daughter, we shall go there. I don't know where to call you, daughter or sister.
Daughter is fine.
Daughter.
Your first one is older than me.
Yes.
I'll take daughter.
There you are. Let's go. This world is not my home. That Itumbi is the director of the diaspora desk. When you don't know one single street in London, I am the one who took Itumbi to The Hague and taught him how to use a seat belt. And even how to catch forks to eat. Like this. And I said, no, they eat like this. Don't shame me in the business class. So, this is why things fell apart. If you don't listen to the advice of your teacher, Jesus said, go ye. Any of you who does not listen to my advice will scatter. People who listened to the advice, we have their books. We are reading St. Luke, St. Matthew, St. Mark's. Are we not reading the books in the Bible? Where is Judas? Where is the book by St. Judas? Where is it? Where is it? Those who claim to be religious and sing every day, where? Talk to me. I will teach you the divinity that I read. Talk to me. Where is the book? Because they are traitors. If you betray yourself, you could not call Itumbi's telephone and go through when he was in the State House. Never. Not even for a day. Busy doing showbiz. Showbiz that they are doing communication. What the hell? Communication strategy is never done that way. Oh, Your Excellency, now the team on the other side stand this way. God bless me. You see? The guy became impossible. You know, power changes. When these guys reached power, some of them became low political lords. You couldn't even call and get them, even if you call. But every day they were saying, where is this Matanga now? Where is he? Now, Matanga anakuwa adui. But now I want to take this opportunity to say openly here, I know where the problem is. So, please take it from my heart. I don't have any problem with you. If you have such men surrounding you, then they are the people who are the problem. But remember, and remember, the sea opens only once. It doesn't come back. Have you seen the Red Sea opening again?
No.
It opens only once. But I'll remain there. There is no African I will allow to be tried once I'm alive in the ICC. So there, I am stuck on the other side of the Red Sea, maybe near Arabian Peninsula, hanging there, waiting. I will not let you down. I will stand by you all the time. Thank you very much. Over to you, Miriam. It is 21 minutes past
12.
12. I have passed your time, eaten your time.
It's fine.
But I'm here also after you have done your bit. I'm ready.
I think we'll just discuss one by one as we proceed. I'll not read the whole of it the way I usually do when I'm by myself. So, Doctor, let's just start with Gambia. And now former Gambian President Yahya Jammeh will be arrested if he attempts to return to the country. A minister has told the BBC. Justice Minister Abubakar Tambour said he would like to prosecute Mr. Jammeh himself over his brutal rule. So, Yahya Jammeh has been wanting to come back to the country, but one of his preconditions has been saying, you cannot put me through trial. I will come back, but don't touch me. Is he even remorseful?
It's not. The Gambian situation is a regime change. I warned Alda, what is this?
Adama Barrow.
Adama Barrow. It is this station that brought Adama Barrow to power. It is one here. I swear, Gambians are watching everywhere on SBC in South Africa, wherever you are, Gambians. This punchline is the one that brought Adama Barrow to power. We are the only one who had a satellite that went into Gambia, brought out the images where they could speak and it could message, could reach government sources wanted to finish this station. I want to give us a credit for having done so. But I warned Adama Barrow that you might face a rebellion in the future.
He's facing one right now.
And why? He refused to take the route of Sir Baba, the president who died, the former president who exiled himself in London. I know the daughter. I know all of them. They encouraged me to help them. But Adama Barrow refused to listen on this side. Now he has found that the French advice from Senegal cannot work in an English-speaking country. Adama Barrow will fall. You want me to say it again? The French advice from Senegal cannot work in Gambia. That's why Yahya Jammeh is returning. It is not Adama Barrow that the French want in Gambia. It is Fatou Bensouda that the French want to replace Adama Barrow. Here.
I did not expect that. I did not see that coming. Fatou Bensouda, has she expressed any interest of wanting to become the president of the Gambia?
Fatou Bensouda, the current chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, will leave the court this year, will become the president of the the president of Gambia.
Okay.
And ask me why.
Why is that?
Fatou Bensouda has never issued a warrant of arrest for Jammeh.
conflict of interest, perhaps.
Somebody
else would have done it.
Ma'am, take it slowly. Write this note down.
The same Abdullah Kui should not be handling matters from Somalia. I think.
Yes. Fatou Bensouda, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, has never issued a warrant of arrest for Yahya Jammeh.
She worked for him, actually.
Now, look at the international dynamics of international intelligence. Don't rely on people who have nothing in intelligence, who have never read international intelligence. They have nothing, zero. I am now telling you the inside of international intelligence. To stabilize Gambia is not that watchman from North London, Mr. Adama Barrow. Gambia needs the likes of Fatou Bensouda, intelligent lawyer, served the French interests in the ICC, delivered the French interests in the ICC, arrested Uhuru Kenyatta, arrested Ruto, arrested this. Aha! Hey, Babu Go. Aha! They have to pay her. Didn't you see that coming? They have to repay her.
Arrested Pemba.
Charged Bemba, Ntagana, Thomas Rubanga. I can name everybody for you. Where is her payment? Her payment is not like the Ocampo one, where Ocampo was literally a thief. And they just grabbed the money from an NGO in America. A Jewish NGO gave Ocampo money to indict Bashir in Sudan. Hallelujah. Look at the truth. She's going to be paid by the presidency of Gambia. Give it a month, give it a few.
Because what has been giving him headache lately, Doctor, are the people who they were in a coalition with, and after that they had agreed that he will be president for 3 years. But we know the constitutional allowed term for one term in Gambia is 5 years. So Adama Barrow says, you know what, we might have agreed for 3 years, but you know the constitution actually allows me to go a whole full term, which is 5 years. So that is where there is a disconnect between him and the people that helped him, the people that he was in a coalition with. And outside of that, 2 weeks ago, I think, a week ago, there was protest that they allowed the people who were protesting to have Mr. Yahya Jammeh come back to the country. That protest was allowed. But the protest by the protesters who are protesting against him staying over 3 years was not allowed. So that really sent a very mixed, I could not even understand what Mr. Adama Barrow was doing. But yes, so this is, of course, something that we shall be following up this year and see, will Adama Barrow leave power or shall he serve the full term?
Can we pick is it possible to pick this, as we are told there's a press conference going on by Jubilee leaders addressed by Senator Mulukomen. I can see the MPs, Waluke, the ones of, I can see notably most of them from Rift Valley, and two notable ones from Ichungwa. I'm sorry to break your line, it is here, coming live. And I can see, the usual people, Sharon Cheriot, the guys who have learned to wear suits while they're in Nairobi. So, I'm sorry. And then, yes, most of them are here. We don't know what they are telling us. And as we are online, our viewer from London with inside the embedded team of His Excellency says, you are 100% correct. Fatou Bensouda will become the president of Gambia. Yeah. So, let's hear what Murkomen has said. If he has mentioned my name, Mr. Wafula, tell me. But he can't mention my name, I'm telling you the truth. Fatou Bensouda becomes the president of Gambia. The arrangement is very clear. Trigger the money. This is the money. You know where Yaya Jammeh is exiled is money. Equatorial Guinea has more money than Kenya.
It does.
Yes, in terms of GDP, because of the oil reserves and what it has sold. It has more money. Only that the money is held by one man.
Yes.
And one family.
Who's been in power forever.
For yes. So you can as well use that money, spin over, overthrow a government anywhere on that West African coast. Adama Barrow at the moment and Equatorial Guinea, France cannot touch Equatorial Guinea because they benefit from the oil. The total oil is in France, in Equatorial Guinea, taking the oil. You better call me in that school one of these days. Your fellow students will be very happy. Yes, my daughter. Look, have you seen the complicated web of internationalism that France cannot attack Equatorial Guinea? And France is the one that supported the removal of Yaya through Senegal. Because Senegal cannot do without France. It doesn't have enough troops and machinery to push to overthrow a government in ECOWAS. It has to use French mercenary logistics and the ships that are anchored in the bay, the West African Bay. I don't know, I could tell you the name of the Gambian waters or the Senegalese waters, waiting there. The ships that used to take ships, we used to go on smaller ships, now they are bigger ones that take our oil, that sink our oil, that draw us Africa. In fact, one day Africa could just go inside. I have a feeling. So, what they have done is to trigger a mechanism. Madame Fatou Bensouda, how do we pay her? She's going to resign. She's going to, her term will end. What do we do? She has to get somewhere to be so that we continue using her, especially as a leader, a head of state. She served their interests. She has served the interests. That's why America, to give her credibility, you need to give her presidents so that both superpowers at the atomic level and the nuclear level weapons, both of them will agree to have her
as president,
as a president of that country.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, there was a crisis meeting over Libya over the weekend in Berlin that was chaired by Angela Merkel, German's chancellor. So apparently after that meeting, the next meeting on Libya crisis will take place in Africa, and it is in African Union and an AU-led process. It will take place in Brazzaville, that is the capital of the Republic of Congo. I don't know, should they have left this matter now to the African Union, or they would have continued? Angela Merkel could have just continued with spearheading this conflict resolution for Libya.
Remember, Angela Merkel was one of the few presidents in Africa, and in Europe, one of the leaders in Europe who abstained from voting for resolution 1970 of the United Nations General Assembly. Security Council that bombarded Libya. She still has the powers, she still has the passion to run this press conference. Boris Johnson yesterday left a conference of African heads of state seated in his city and flew to Germany, which was very, very degrading for African leaders who have gathered there. It's very degrading. They were left
I'm hurt.
I'm hurt. I was hurt. And so many people have gone to court in the oil belly to find out why. How do you live?
But Johnson has never cared anything about Africa. You go back and see his statements, his tweets, just see how Africa is just, whatever it is now he wants from Africa is just for their own interest. But he's never really cared.
He left them in a meeting.
What a shame, Doctor.
To be, yes, I am, my friend, I have people in that conference. The Foreign and the Commonwealth Office has my people. It was a shame.
And it's a meeting that he called.
He called. Then he flew to Germany because he doesn't want to be caught in the middle. The German conflict, Turkey has already sent troops into Libya and the Mediterranean Sea. What I predicted, Matsanga, hallelujah, I said Mediterranean Sea will become a battlefield. Our ships from Britain might not be able, from Europe, might not pass there. Have you seen where it is coming?
I'm still on the shame part that he left.
He left leaders,
heads of state.
good, our leaders. Museveni, who all of them seated in London, and left them. How do you leave visitors in the house?
And I saw not even, is it half of the leadership of Africa, where not all heads of state actually attended this summit.
Yeah, people stayed with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, oye! Zimbabwe, oye!
I'm disappointed that my
yes
went.
Shame. Zimbabwe, oye!
Mr. President,
you joke with Matanga, we played. I told you, there are people here silently. Magufuli, asante.
Yeah, Magufuli also did not.
Yes.
I saw that.
Asante sana. Ndugu mupenzi. Ndugu mupenzi. Tuko na wapenzi hapa Afrika. Watatusaidia. Tutapambana. Afrika yetu tutarudisha. Msituwache. Nyerere spirit will grow. They refused. They had my word. Why? You cannot leave one country. You have invited all the countries. You leave one country out. Single it. Which Africa are you talking about? And you call, hallelujah, you call MDC, a party sponsored to destroy, to kill Zimbabwe in a conference. What? No wonder.
We just started the show again.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Boris left them and they went. It means the meeting in London is just for formality.
He has no regard at all.
Until Africa becomes to speak. Until Africa speaks like Kwame Nkrumah, Samora Machel, NASA, Haile Selassie, Obote, Jomo Kenyatta, Nyerere, Amir Cabral, Sekutore, Benabella, Patrice Lumumba. We are done. Baba Tafawa Balewa, rise up, give me the strength to speak for this continent. Give me the strength to speak for this continent. Have you seen the trouble? Everybody is very upset. Most people in Africans in London are upset. You can't leave our leaders and you fly to another country which you demonized, destroyed, helped to destroy, and then Cameroon said, I'm sorry, I should not have bombarded Libya.
It's too late. And it's interesting that NATO, they're not even spearheading this conference, because they are the ones who actually helped destroy Libya.
Now, one of the biggest countries in NATO has now finally said we are going in with troops. And don't stop us. If you stop us, we release ISIS. Have you seen what is happening there? Don't forget, Turkey has helped to fight ISIS, which was in Syria. So if you antagonize Turkey, it can as well leave ISIS to have a safe haven across. Ask me.
Let me ask, Doctor.
Yeah.
And my question was, now that this process, the next meeting about this crisis will happen in Africa, and it will be mediated by African Union, who time and time again has failed to get a solution for this problem, for this crisis in Libya, should they just have continued with the process and see it to fruition, leaving it to the African Union? That is already dead, even before anything else happened. Should we should we expect any progress in terms of resolving this crisis in Libya, left to African Union?
Can I tell you, that meeting of Congo Brazzaville, this Magendo man, this one who does Magendo of maize and other things, Ngweso, President
Ngweso, yes.
Ngweso, Ngweso cannot even mediate his shoes, his own shoes. He doesn't know how they tie them. He's a dictator. The only thing is a military man. A man who has overthrown a government to install himself cannot be a mediator. The best man you could have given the Libyan issue is most probably Uhuru Kenyatta, my friend. Yes, because Uhuru Kenyatta is peaceful. President Uhuru Kenyatta has no interests. Ngweso will sell this. Ngweso is France. President Ngweso is France. He can't speak without the French. They will overthrow him in a minute.
Yeah.
Just like that. So we have spoiled another chance of bringing peace in Libya.
Because and it's very interesting that it's going to the Republic of Congo there, because if you know what has been happening there, Sassou Nguesso, yes, he came into power through a coup, and who supported him to come into power? Yes. So
and have you asked yourself why DRC is in chaos, and across the river, that country has not had chaos? When you go to Kinshasa, you stand in the State House. Across is Ngweso, the capital, Brazzaville. They just oppose each other. But there is peace. Here, peace has never come.
actually it is surrounded with chaos, because also Central African Republic on the other
across
side. Yes.
And then top Cameroon.
Yes.
Have you seen the problem?
It's chaotic.
So you give Cameroon, it's like giving a cat to eat a cat. How can the cat surrender?
The cat to eat a cat.
Yes.
And speaking about Zimbabwe, Doctor, before I forget, and why it was not invited. So of course MDC was invited to that summit, but they sent a representative because Nelson Chamisa has something very important that he's doing today in Harare. He's supposed to be laying the agenda 2020. That look, you're shocked. He's busy. So MDC leader Nelson Chamisa will tell the nation today that his party has tried negotiations to solve Zimbabwe's political impasse, but the window is closing very fast. So he's losing his patience. And Chamisa was stopped by police from delivering what he dubbed as the Agenda 2020 speech last week, prompting him to warn that he will deliver his remarks today, come what may. So Chamisa is a very busy person, and he has an agenda, and for this year, for Zimbabwe.
Time is running so fast.
So
for Emerson Mnangagwa.
He's telling him, you better.
Yeah,
better.
it is. Truly speaking, let my good friend, I will emphasize this. Time is running fast. And I believe my man has tagged someone to hear. Is it? You better. Time is running fast because these guys are mobilized, money-wise. You see the way they recruited people. Like Moses Kuria was a sober guy, a bit. When he came from this trip, that side, whoa. You know, Ebesha dollar. When you see the dollar, Ebesha, hey, The guy is wild. You see, he even started insulting play. Who is Kenyatta? Who is this? Man, mom.
There's a problem.
George Soros works in miracles.
And while George Soros works in miracles, there's something that is going on, Doctor, in Cameroon regarding to the Ambazonian crisis. And last week, the U.S. Special Envoy to Cameroon on African matters made a statement. A diplomat to Africa, U.S. diplomat to Africa, Mr. Tibor Nagy, and they were having a meeting with the opposition leader there, Maurice Kamto, and he said what the people in the southwest and northwest want more than anything else is decentralization. They would like to have control over their own lives, their own historical heritage. In other words, what the U.S. is telling Mr. Paul Biya is, can you allow that referendum to happen? Are we seeing U.S. trying to craft something? When we see the events that happened last year when they removed the army aid they were offering to Cameroon, and they've been very vocal about this matter. And seeing what this person is saying, of course he's speaking on behalf of the White House. Can we expect that perhaps there's something in the offing from the United States in regards to perhaps a regime change in Cameroon, and also pushing for a referendum for Ambazonians?
There is no one way, this way, which way, what way. The only way that it is one. That way is, and I repeat, is two-state solution of Ambazonia. If you give Ambazonia 2 states, you give Cameroon 2 states, the state of Ambazonia and the state of French Cameroon. America, wake up. My friends in America, those who see this voice, look at this face. I'm telling you, shut up. Shut up.
They can't. The impeachment is starting today. They can't shut up.
No, they will. There are some in the Pentagon who watch me every day.
The impeachment starts.
You didn't know?
The process
and the State Department. Yes. Watch out. Yes, Ambassador Kylie. Is it Kylie? What is that English name? Kylie. Yes, give Cameroon a 2-state solution. Ambazonians cannot live with monsters who slaughter them on a daily basis. Impossible. Give them a 2-state solution. Thank you. Anything next?
All right, so the next thing is that now in South Sudan, authorities in northern Liège state have said that the SPLA-IO is forcefully recruiting youth into their ranks, an accusation the main opposition group has denied. The state minister of information says the recruitment has forced some civilians to flee their homes, and quoting one of the officials saying this has happened for almost a week. They are forcefully recruiting the youth and also taking the cows of the civilians who ran away from the forceful recruitment. Riek Machar and his people. Apparently this is what they're doing. This 22nd of February deadline, I'm very nervous about it now.
We started tomorrow. Starting from tomorrow, South Sudan countdown. We shall be talking about South Sudan countdown. 22nd, 1 month left. That's the position we shall take from tomorrow.
So they're recruiting the youth. And if you refuse to take your cows, in other words, militia is rampant, courtesy of
Riek.
And also the side of, was it last, you are not, I don't know if you're here, Doctor.
Dr. Riek Machar.
Where even the government has its own militia.
Yes, Dr. Riek Machar. Brother, hey, okay. I promise that I will address you on 21st of February next month. But I'm just telling you, please keep off. For some time, I'm your friend, and I believe there's chaos coming for us. Thank you.
All right, and of course, Uganda has entered its electioneering period campaign. They're having the elections next year. So Mr. Besigye is very synonymous with tear gas and molestation, as you like to put it. So yesterday he had a taste of that. But in this regard, I think his supporters are to blame because he had a meeting to commemorate 15 years of his Democratic for Change party. Then after that, they cut the cake, and I don't know, he was walking to where, and his supporters started pelting the police with some stones. So the police had to respond with tear gas and some forceful, and so scattered them off. But yes, the tear gas season for Besigye has just started there. We'll see you tomorrow.
You always drag me in Ugandan politics.
I'm just informing our viewers.
You see, if you are criticizing Museveni for having stayed too much in power, please also avoid being there for too long. Surrender the mantle of leadership of the opposition party to avoid the fragmentation of opposition. Besigye should do that and stay to give advice to the younger generation that is fighting, because you serve no purpose now if you are also holding to power like Museveni is holding to power. So my argument to comrade, retired colonel, my good friend Dr. Besigye, is leave this to a younger man to run around with battles. This gas can kill you one day. Please, please, I am just saying, you have created a movement that will never reverse. You have created a way forward. People, how many years have you tried? I used to tell you when you are the one, the political commissioner, I used to criticize you. In 1985, 86, 87, I used to tell you on BBC that you are brutalizing our people. You are calling our people force Obote back again, force Obote back commanders like us. We are brutalized. I am the living soul. Otai will be buried on Saturday. I cry tears. We are in exile because of you. You are forgotten, but you don't listen to us. You put the same values that killed us today. We told you. We told you. We were telling you. We told you that this monster will return to eat you. Now today, you don't want to give up. How many people will perish on this journey? How many? We who have the living history of what happened in Uganda, let's tell you. Let's tell you. Some of us have emotions. We've lost wives. We have lost fathers out of this. But the people now need a way forward. The only way forward is you have set up the pace. Leave. Because you can't be opposing Museveni when you are still the same, or you are also the same. You still hang on power. You want even to stand as a president after losing 6 times. This is what was a problem here. Until Baba crossed and shook hands, everybody was saying, you have tried enough. Now he has shaken hands. Have you seen the level of his popularity rising, including me, who used never to like him? I now like him. That's what they call political science, Dr. Dr. Besigye, that's political science, the art of the soul. Change the direction. Our country needs, you know, what does it need? You can't overtake this guy without other people. But when it comes to election, you can't unite even there is another small boy called Bobby Wine, a small boy with music, who is not even my firstborn, that he's going to play music to State House. Now, this machinery of this guy, you people don't know. Some of us have had to be told, we shall crush you. If someone comes to where you have run and tells you where, you better be there here. But there, if you come, I will crush you. Do you go back? 1993, the guy came to London and told me the same. In a conference of 10,000 people. I was a businessman in London with my nightclub, registered under London Chamber of Commerce. So he came to address the Chamber of Commerce. And I was among the members of Chamber of Commerce who had gathered in that hall, paid £500 to enter. Guess, I looked like I asked myself, why did I bring myself in this? The guy pinned on me. Pinned on me, only. Bazungu were watching. I'm telling you this. Listen, Bazungu watched in disbelief. The man zeroed on me in the conference. He said, you, if you better get organized, stay here. And then with such individuals, we eliminated them. The Bazungu said, point of order, Mr. Chairman, point of order, Chairman of the conference. Is it in order for the president to say you eliminate? He said, no, in our country, we liquidate such people. Then another one said, point of order. You know the same word. He kept the president, my own president, in Amango Bazungu. In London, I had paid my money to enter a conference. People in Kenya here telling me I have never fought. I don't help you. Mom, Maba, you people, give me a break. I've suffered. Give me a break. I've lost my relatives, close relatives. A man told me, zeroed on me. The conference had to adjourn because the Bazungu, some of them said no. These are the words: liquidation, elimination. We deal with these words are threatening to this gentleman. You know, the Bazungu have got that heart of counseling. They came to me, are you okay? Are you okay? Now, I also started crying. He said, the guy can kill me. I can laugh about it. You people don't know. That means, Miriam, I can laugh about it. Because I've healed.
Yes.
I've healed. I have healed. I have healed. That's why I'm telling you, BCJ. In a conference in London where I'd gone, I ran away and got asylum. The guy came for me. He said, this one here. Yeah. This, you know, these guys, some things like this one. He called me some things. So, and things have produced the same children like his. He called me some things. I said, Maba, mzee, kama iko namna hivyo, you know what? I said, people, Miriam, sorry, Bazungu became very simple. You know, the whole conference was adjourned for an hour.
But that was a threat towards?
Exactly. They even came, the whole conference organizers counseling me. They called the people to counsel me. Do you want to go inside? Do you want to go back? Now, when you go back, can you sit very far where he doesn't see you? Because we want to save our conference. Someone get it. Kawanga Samuel Gerere, who was the minister then, came to me during the break. And Kawanga Samuel Gerere, Dr. Besigye was working as Minister of State for Internal Security in Kawanga Semongerere. Kawanga Semongerere came to me personally now, even crying tears. He said, don't worry, because he knew me. He's a member of the DP party. I'm a member of UPC. He knew me. He came and said, don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. Do you want to go? You can go home now. This is you. This is the truth. So for me, when people here in Kenya, some of them who are grown, younger men growing up, like Wafula.
No, Wafula says you're on point. Wafula is okay. He's supporting what you're saying. He's saying you're on point.
Yeah. Some people don't know. I've gone through all of this humiliation. Humiliation. So when now Besigye says he is tear gas, this tear gas will kill him.
He helped manufacture the tear gas.
It's like Moses Kuria, who said police should increase tear gas. Now they have just said they are going to Mombasa.
No, they increased the tear gas was made in
They have also said they are going to Mombasa. They want to bring a fracas. Have you seen defeated, humiliated, disorganized, humbled, reigned on like a chicken that has come from oil? Molukomen says he's going to Mombasa. Come on, bring it on. Have you seen? Why were you opposing? Why are you insulting the president then? Why are you insulting the president?
Hold on, doctor. They're going to Mombasa.
Yes.
The BBI rally.
On Friday, on BBI. Why were you insulting Uhuru? Every day you insult Uhuru, you.
But doctor, what is the agenda? Where are they going? Are they supporting it or what?
Let's see. Because their masters told them to go. He wants to go also. Shame after telling people lies. Shame. Listen to people at times. Don't pretend you know everything. I heard somebody, when you are in him within the office, said, I know. When you don't know. This is what the president was saying. Come on board. Why were you opposing? Which journey were you going? Which one? If you don't have peace, some of us are telling you stories of our own. Some of us are telling you real story. Miriam says the man pointed on me. If he had a gun, if I was in Uganda, this guy could kill me. If I was in Kampala, some people tell me this, it pains me that I'll go home. This guy could kill me. If he wanted to leave the podium to come for me. Hey, this guy, this one's here, this thing, such people, we do away with them. Hey? The Wazungu Americans investor, they were fight. They say point of order, Mr. Chairman. Is it in order for the president to say he will eliminate this guy? The whole, my dear, every Muzungu come saying no. Then he said no. For us, in our language, we are soldiers. We don't tolerate such nonsense. But some people like these ones will be eliminated. Hey, point of order! Then he said, Mr. Chairman, for the progress of this meeting, in our state we liquidate. Then now, the chairman said, order. Because now people, this was the Chamber of Commerce. Everybody in London who was in London, comrades who are watching, you saw what happened to me. I was humiliated. And these are personal things. It's not, I have forgiven the president for what he did to me. I had children like his children. To be very honest, and mine are even very sober. Because they have grown from a humble beginning of being refugees, having lost their mother in the hands. So I know what it means. But I was humiliated. I could not stand the stupidity. So if I was in Kampala,
you'd be dead.
And even in London, his bodyguards wanted to come. The Wazungu went for them. Because they are used to that culture of throwing people out.
Impunity.
The Wazungu said, please give the guy the freedom. I said, you touch me, I paid my money, you refunded the money. You know how proud I am. I was not as big as this. Very handsome with a nice suit, better than his suit.
All right, so for anybody out there who wonders why Dr. Matsanga sometimes doesn't involve...
Like, I don't like to speak.
The Ugandan politics.
Please, please. If a man can jump like a dog like that, he wants to jump on you. He has no gun in Britain, but he came to address us. But he wanted to leave his podium to come for me, as if I did what to him. It's only to support these northerners who are being butchered, the Luo, who are being called black people, yet they are Ugandans. Nobody stood out for them. I was going to be butchered. So you tell me you have it. Have your thing. Besije, have it. Mugisha Muntu, have it. This musician, Gogogo Sijui, what? Have it. He used to sing songs in praise. Wechitibwa, wechitibwa, wechitibwa baba. Inze ye waini. Inze bobu waini. Kuva Nairobi. Ye waini. That wine drink you.
He's drinking that wine.
The bed you made is the bed you take home. I never made the bed. I have been opposed. Even when you cut my blood, it does say so. Because of the scare. Not because I'm a coward.
All right.
It's all right. Miriam understands me in Guinea, Daf, Guinea, Niger. I am not empty in my heart. I have a full heart of what I've gone through. So what I was discussing is what I've gone through. And Miriam asked me a question about Uganda. I was only telling him I don't want to talk about it, because it brings a lot of memories. And we want to thank you, Engineer Duff Niger, to continue watching. I'm not a dictator. I've always allowed other people to take my credit. Like those who took my credit in Kenya for having won ICC cases. The lawyers took all the money. I took nothing, not even a medal.
And is it Engineer Duff? I think perhaps you're our guest viewer, but thank you so much. He's not a guest. Dr. Matsanga is
part and parcel.
Part and parcel
of her.
The owner of Punchline Africa.
No, part and parcel of Miriam.
And co-hosts.
We are co-hosts.
Yeah, so.
But it's okay. There's nothing wrong you have said.
But thank you for
I will not even answer. I am not empty. I have a full heart with so many sorrows. And I don't want to sing the songs of sorrow.
And no, it's not a day for sorrow. We finished well, actually.
We have finished very well, yes. And we have finished with Murkomen joining the Gwagon.
Interesting, but I know.
And somebody has said, if you can't beat them, join them. And then watch out, these guys who are coming to join them might be coming with an agenda. Yeah, they now want to pick it and use it. Because it is next is going to their place.
At the Bomas, they couldn't do that.
Yes.
So now okay.
Yeah, you see? They want to cause trouble. Because there are people who are going to choma them. You see? Have you seen? The guy has sat down and now said, what do? We invaded the coast I hope Raila and President Uhuru are watching this.
I'm sure they are.
Yes, because the guy had reached the dead end. Dead end. Coup de sac. What Miguna said, coup de sac. Umegonga ukuta. Kila kitu inazimwa. Sasa kama ujui watazi. Let me not say it. Thank you very much, viewers.
See you tomorrow.
No, send them okay nicely.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your company. And thank you so much for engaging with us. Abraham Wangila Wafula, thank you so much. Stephen Lemmy, Brighton Eka, I think you're from Ambazonia. Ishmael Jay, thank you so much. Always sending us insightful comments and engaging with us. And we are hoping that we can meet here tomorrow for another edition of Good Morning Africa. From me, Miriam Ogutu, it is bye-bye.
Thank you very much, John Moruf Ayik Irwe from South Sudan, I believe. I have tried my level best. I always laugh. And whenever you insult me, I'm always part and parcel of it. But I have a lot of African knowledge. I have a lot of international knowledge on international intelligence, how it operates, who is going to be overthrown next, what happens. I know them, because I've studied in these institutions. I have been a part and a parcel that molded some of these institutions by virtue of having studied political science and international relations in the university in London. I happen to know quite a lot of a deeper system, how it works, how conspiracy, how it theories. Above all, I'm a member of International Institute of Strategic Studies, a life member, and a member of Chatham House. Surely you don't expect me to be hollow. I can't be hollow when I'm a serious member, more or less, who pays membership annually. Some places I'm life member. By virtue of having studied political science to a higher level, that my word, even on international scene in London, is taken as a gospel truth. Thank you. And thank you, Miriam, for the smile. It puts a smile on my face too.
Okay.
Although you don't show the public there that she puts the smile on me. And I want her to do that all the time. Mom, at times, they are here. Hey, Mom, they are here. Give me a signal. Thank you very much.